Asterisk baby, listen. The minute Kandi Burruss walked into this divorce, like she was Mama Joyce's shadow reincarnated, the entire internet felt the floor shake. Because what started as a quiet, almost polite little filing turned into a full-blown celebrity custody war the moment Todd Tucker opened his mouth through that legal response. And when Todd Tucker responded, chilly Kandi Burruss snapped. This was no longer "we're doing this respectfully." This was no longer "we're co-parenting." This was no longer "we still love each other." No, this became Kandi versus Todd. Round one, gloves off, teeth showing, and Mama Joyce smiling somewhere in the background like she'd been waiting for this moment since 2014. Because in the first petition, Kandi Burruss was soft, quiet, vague. She asked for joint custody, almost as if she didn't want to ruffle feathers. She kept the filing mild, peaceful, simple, like she was trying to avoid a war. But the second Todd Tucker filed his response, everything changed. Everything. Suddenly, the same woman who once preached calm, once defended Todd to everybody including her own mama, turned around and said, "Nope, not today. Not anymore." Todd's answer didn't just irritate her. It activated her. Activated the part of Kandi Burruss that is Joyce's daughter. Activated the part of her that refuses to lose. Activated the fighter that the entire reality TV world knows exists beneath that business smile. The moment Todd Tucker requested full decision-making authority, Kandi Burruss looked at that paper like a declaration of war. And instead of backing down, she said, "Actually, I want that. I want all of that." The same woman who originally suggested joint decision-making suddenly demanded primary custody, full authority, and a limited schedule for Todd Tucker to see his own children. Baby, this was not a compromise. This was Kandi Burruss flipping the whole chessboard. But the real twist? The transcript reveals the moment Kandi looked at Todd Tucker's narrative and said, "Stop playing in the public's face." Because Todd's response hinted that he was the one doing most of the parenting. He acted like he was the one constantly home, constantly present, constantly with the kids. But Kandi's amended petition? Oh, she dragged out the nanny receipts like they were holy scripture. She said the nanny had been full-time throughout the marriage, paid by her, used by both of them, and never once, not once objected to by Todd Tucker. The shade? The implication? Todd Tucker trying to pretend he was Mr. Stay-at-home dad while Kandi worked the world. Was a lie? A performance. A face card decline, and baby Kandi Burruss unloaded that tea in legal English. But it didn't stop there. Oh no, the biggest twist came when Todd Tucker tried to play victim about the prenup, claiming he wasn't represented properly, claiming he didn't have guidance, claiming the agreement might not be fully valid. And Kandi's side? Chilly. They pulled out an entire television network as evidence. In the amended filing, Kandi and her attorney wrote that Todd Tucker had attorney Randy Kessler. He consulted him on and off camera. And the whole thing was literally filmed by Bravo for their wedding special. Let me say it again. The prenup was filmed. This is the kind of twist that T channels live for. Kandi Burruss basically told the court, "Run the footage." She wants Bravo to become evidence. She wants the cameras to speak for her. And the moment that line hit the transcript, chilly social media said, "Todd, baby, you might want to sit down." But there's another layer of mess simmering beneath the surface. And that's Kandi's lawyer. Because as fierce as Kandi's words were, her attorney's paperwork was sloppy, messy, contradictory in the same document. The attorney wrote that Kandi wants joint legal custody, but also wants primary physical custody, but also wants full decision-making authority, but also wants Todd to have a parenting schedule. The document contradicted itself like 3 times in the same section. It looked like someone edited it 5 minutes before filing. And the narrator of the transcript is screaming about it. Fans are screaming about it. Even lawyers in the comments are screaming about it. Because the intention is clear, Kandi Burruss wants control. But the writing? The writing is giving intern-level chaos. Still, the emotional heartbeat of this whole mess sits in one chilling truth. Both Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker are fighting for power, not peace. Both acting like the children are bargaining chips and not two little humans who love both parents equally. And that reality is the darkest tea of all. Yet the transcript ends with a quiet sadness acknowledging the truth no one wants to admit. The person you divorce is not the person you married. And baby, Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker are proving that line every single day. The next phase of this war begins the moment Kandi Burruss files that amended petition on December 1st, just 10 days after her first filing. That speed alone tells you everything. She wasn't reacting emotionally, she was reacting strategically. Because the moment she saw Todd Tucker's answer, she realized she was not divorcing the Todd she married. She was divorcing the Todd who walked into that courtroom smiling like a man ready to fight for every penny. Every right, every line on that custody agreement. And Kandi Burruss decided, if Todd is coming to take, then I am coming to win. She begins building a powerful argument, one crafted to convince a judge that the children belong primarily with her. First, she lays out the celebrity lifestyle both parents live. She explains how both Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker travel for work, travel for events, travel for production, travel for business. This isn't a normal 9-to-5 household. This is a reality TV empire, a touring schedule, a Broadway schedule, a restaurant chain, a production company, everything running at once. And she emphasizes that throughout all of it, it wasn't Todd taking care of the children alone. It was the nanny. A nanny that she hired. A nanny that she paid. A nanny Todd never objected to. This is Kandi saying, Todd, don't pretend you were the full-time parent. We both worked. We both traveled. And I handled the support system. And then she adds another layer, the family network. Maternal grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone within 5 to 20 miles, available at all times. It's not just a nanny, it's a village. A village that she claims has been emotionally and physically supporting the children from the beginning. She is constructing a narrative that says, I am the stable home base. I have the support. I have the resources. I have the infrastructure. But then the transcript gives us the unexpected twist. The narrator steps in and reminds us of the reality. Judges, do not give custody to a parent who is not physically present. And this is where the story gets complicated, because Kandi Burruss is about to be gone for months. She's touring, performing, working on multiple shows. She is Kandi Burruss, the brand, the business, the entertainer. And while she says she has a village, the law says the village comes after the parents. Meaning, if Kandi is not physically present, the father becomes the next automatic caregiver. And that gives Todd Tucker leverage. This is where the emotional complexity hits. Kandi is trying to show she is the stable structure, but her career, her success also becomes her weakness. Todd uses it as proof that he should have more time with the kids. And while fans argue day and night about who's right, the tragedy is the same. The children are in the middle of a power struggle that has nothing to do with their well-being. But the script gets even deeper, because the narrator calls out the contradictions in the amended petition. Same document, same page, and yet multiple lines conflict with each other. Primary physical custody, joint legal custody, full decision-making authority. Tada gets scheduled visits. It's as if Kandi is trying to win every angle at once, but the lawyer isn't presenting it cleanly. And that confusion becomes part of the drama. Because while Kandi is fighting like Mama Joyce trained her, the legal writing isn't keeping up. And then comes the emotional blow. The narrator points out the sadness behind the battle. That Ace and Blaze, two young kids, love both parents. That the anger is pushing both adults to forget what matters most. That Todd Tucker and Kandi Burruss are acting from pain, fear, ego, and betrayal. The narrator says the line again, the person you divorce is not the person you married. And in this case, The person Kandi married, Todd the nice guy, Todd the good partner, Todd the balanced businessman, became Todd the opponent. Todd the legal adversary. Todd the man fighting for power in court. And Kandi Burruss, the woman who used to defend Todd to her mama, who stood by when Mama Joyce dragged him publicly, who protected him on and off screen, has become the woman determined to defeat him. Both of them are tired. Both of them are wounded. Both of them are fighting harder than necessary, and neither one seems to be thinking about how Ace and Blaze will remember these filings when they grow up. But the line that truly stings is when the narrator says, neither of them are thinking about the best interest of the children. Because that's the truth. The battle is no longer about parenting, it's about control. About resentment. About who wins the divorce, not who nurtures the kids. And as this messy legal fight unfolds, the world watches. Kandi Burruss clinging to her voice. Todd Tucker clinging to his pride. Mama Joyce silently, nodding like she predicted this years ago, and the children quietly caught between two adults, who once vowed to protect each other forever.